I think it's a desperation game for Utah. The deck is already stacked a little bit against them because of potential head-to-head tiebreakers in terms of getting to the Big 12 championship game, but it's certainly not over. I think a lot of Big 12 fans have taken it as an insult when I say the conference is wider than it is deep. I don't mean it as an insult. I mean the margins are very slim. And while you might not have in this conference, and I don't mean to offend anyone, but you might not have Ohio State, you also don't have really, maybe one, you really don't have anybody that's an easy out. You know, if you don't play well, you are going to lose.
Have you corrected Coach Saban on the Sorsby name, or does no one correct Coach Saban?
I corrected him on USF and UCF last week. And hey, look, you know, sometimes you have a little bit of a slip of the tongue or a stumble. You're not gonna sit there like, you know, like the teacher and hit it. He knows, believe me. I mean, he knows who Brendan Sorsby is. So he's locked in. He's been just great on the show. And I told him this a couple of weeks ago. I think he is in any setting he's ever been in, as gifted a communicator as I've ever seen. I've seen him give speeches to big groups. I've seen him talk to his team. I've obviously have one-on-one conversations with him, and I've seen him on television, and he crushes it all. And it's a gift. He's super smart, really studies. He preps for our show like he does everything in his life. He's not going to let anything slip.
The odds surprise you in this game?
What now?
The odds? Are you surprised at the odds?
What is it?
I think 10 and a half, 10.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot because I think Cincinnati's good. But I think a really big key to the game, if they're going to keep it close and have a chance to win, is they'll have to be able to run it. People say that all the time, but for all of the great stats that Morgan's defense has put up, and I had a chance to visit with him for a while this morning. What an impressive dude. But look at all their stats. And the one place that I wouldn't call it a weakness, but I would say maybe it's a little bit leaky, is you can run on them a little bit. Now, you can't get to the red zone. They don't allow you to get there very often, and they don't really let you gash them. But people have moved it a little bit on them running. So if Cincinnati can do that, maybe get the game flowing the way they want, then then I think maybe that number might prove to be a little bit large. If Utah shuts that down, then we might, those who play games have chance, which I'm not endorsing, by the way, because everything is a risk. Things are risky in life. Why would you risk your hard-earned money like that? But for those people who like to play games of chance, if they shut down Cincinnati from running, you're going to be going, well, that was easy. I should have taken that.
Since that Week 1 loss, I mean, I believe they're 5th in the country in scoring, or averaging over 40 a game, 1st in yards per play. So they've gotten themselves a lot better. And when I watch them on tape, the offensive line is the one. That's why I would be confident if I'm Cincinnati of what that offensive line has looked like in this winning streak. And the defense, has guys, to make plays, and then you look at Utah, like it's really like the hardest thing to do in what we do is forget what a team looked like last week. And like I'm staying up late last night, I'm like, oh my God, this thing they might score 100. I believe Cincinnati has what it takes to keep this game close for sure. But it seems a lot higher than I thought it was going to be, which makes me start thinking the other, like, all right, maybe I'm not seeing something here with Utah. But I think it's going to be a real high-level game.
As a connoisseur of tight ends, your take on Joe Royer?
Oh, man, I'm so glad somebody asked me about him. I love that dude. Absolutely. I just thought it's a cool story, going to the big school at Ohio State and then coming back home. He went to high school, right? Elder, right, in Cincinnati. I just look at being able to watch Eli Stowers last week at Vanderbilt and having a love for tight ends, and now putting on the tape on my flight home Sunday of Royer and just seeing how many things he does. I get it. The quarterback gets all the credit, and he should. And Sorsby, 240 pounds of a man. But what they do with Royer, I think, is really, really cool. I've always been a fan of Coach Satz's scheme and how diverse it is, and misdirection and delays and screens. And that tight end is always in the mix there. But I think the world of Royer. I can't wait to watch him at the next level. He's got that kind of game to play in the pros.